Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, it's never too early to start thinking about your retirement. We'll be talking to two financial pros next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So this happens every day in America, that there's a couple that goes to their financial planner and they're in their mid-60s and their financial planner says, unfortunately, you cannot retire. You just haven't saved enough. And so truly you should begin planning on this in your 20s. But when you're in your 20s, you're going to live forever. You're bulletproof, right? So I think so many Americans spend more time thinking about what movie they're going to watch or what television program they're going to watch than their own retirement. To talk about that today, Kyle Sims and Dominic DePizzol. They're both with 49 Financial. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And I believe that open is absolutely right. Don't you run into people? I mean, I think, unfortunately, in many families, like talking about finances it's kind of taboo, so nobody talks about finances. Why don't we start with you, Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had the privilege of working in this industry now for almost 20 years. And Jeff, you're 100% right. So many times it is taboo. And unfortunately, there's a lot of shame that's associated with finances. And one of the things that we are passionate about being able to come alongside families and help them with is just being someone that is trusted and that's going to listen and make sure that they feel heard, because we all come to this conversation from different perspectives. Some of us with a lot of baggage, some of us not. And so we just want to meet people wherever they might be in their financial journey, because that's the first step is starting the conversation. Then we can step into a planning process to really help them develop and live into a plan that will allow them to realize the fullness of their goals and their priorities.
Sure. Dominic, let's bring you in. And I was before the show, we talked about the name 49 Financial. What is the origin of the name?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So our name actually comes from an Old Testament verse, Ecclesiastes 4:9, which just says, 2 are better than 1, for the return on their labor is greater. And I'm sure Kyle will speak about this here shortly. But, at 49, we really pride ourselves in this teamwork model, and thus doing everything is better in teams. And we try to serve clients in that approach, because we really do feel that, our clients are best served when there's multiple people serving them and kind of using the various talents that they've been given to serve our clients.
Absolutely. We're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, let's talk about all the services you provide, because it is kind of soup to nuts, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a fully comprehensive, independent financial advising firm. And so you'll notice as we scroll through the site, one of the things that is deep in our convictions is we want to create community consistent with our name, 2 are better than 1. And we also want to create simplicity. So creating community and simplifying lives. It's not hard to make things more complex. And a lot of people, it's pretty easy to make things more complex. But making things more simple and easy to understand, you've got to fight for that simplicity. And so that's one of the things that we're really passionate about. And in doing that, it's a team endeavor. And so it's a combination of a tremendous amount of technical expertise that we have as a part of our team, as well as the relational component of being able to speak in plain terms to clients around these topics.
Sure. And I love the way you custom plans for every couple. Many people in financial services have a one-size-fits-all approach to how that, it's got to be bonds, it's got to be
Sure.
annuities. You really, let's talk about the golden rule and why you listen to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, it's funny when you talk about kind of what makes us unique as a firm. There's a lot of firms who do what we do, quite frankly, and a lot of firms who do it well. But where we really pride ourselves is the golden rule. just doing unto others as you would have done unto yourself. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but in the service-based industry, really abiding by the golden rule is so important, and making sure others feel heard and listened to, and just really thinking, hey, what would I do for my family? What would be the best strategies to implement for my family? And then, we're going to try to put ourselves in the client's shoes the best that we can.
Sure. And you've assembled a dream team. We're going to pull up the team page off your website. I want you to brag, Kyle, about the quality of your teammates.
Absolutely. So we've got some incredible people. Again, go back to the name, two are better than one. And so what you see represented here are a number of industry leaders. And so literally decades and decades of industry experience and expertise that is part of our team. And you'll also notice as we scroll, a lot of youth. Our industry is known for being a little bit older in orientation, maybe more our age, Jeff. And so one of the things that we've really sought to be intentional about is developing the next generation of leaders in this industry. And so again, it all goes back to the two are better than one. It's the combination of bringing that expertise and the experience and coupling that with incredibly young, talented, values-aligned, skilled, and ambitious young people so that together we can serve our clients and create great outcomes.
And you have multiple offices now, right? Do you want to speak to that?
Correct, yeah. So we're 8 offices headquartered in Austin. We have the 3 major markets in Texas, so Austin, Dallas, and Houston. And then we're as far as the West Coast, Los Angeles, and then all the way to Charlotte, Atlanta, Jacksonville, and then Northwest Arkansas.
Yes. We've got some video from our library that we're going to pull up and talk over it. I find that a lot of people my age are caught in the sandwich generation where they're caring for their kids and their older parents, and sometimes they're not putting their oxygen mask on first. Kyle, do you want to speak to that?
Absolutely. On the one hand, you're taking the keys away from the older generation and giving the keys to the younger. And I can certainly identify with that. And to your point, it's actually one of the things that we talk about a lot in our planning process is we do believe in putting your own mask on first and making sure that you're in a great spot so that you can then begin to think about others, right? And so we walk people through a process that is designed to clarify their goals, their priorities specific to them, just like you said earlier, and then make a plan that's going to bring about the realization of those goals and priorities.
All right, Dominic, what's one of your favorite stories of a client success?
Yeah, no, a client that I had the privilege of serving. So I'm from Denver originally, and a lot of the folks that I speak with are in Denver. But this man, again, by all standards, looking from the outside in, you would think he had everything figured out, right, from a financial planning perspective. He was up there in net worth, but, when we were able to sit down and talk with him, it was amazing how many blind spots there were, right? He hadn't had conversations around estate planning, around legacy planning, around charitable giving. And these were all things that we were able to speak into. And doing so just create a lot of clarity and remove any friction in terms of his overall financial plan.
All right, Kyle, what's one of your favorite success stories?
Yeah. So the majority of the clients that I have the privilege of serving, most of these families are what I would consider to be just in that sandwich generation, pre-retirees. And so much of their life has been devoted to making investments in their kids and getting them up and out of college and off the payroll. And a lot of times those are investments that don't necessarily show up on the balance sheet, but they certainly will reap a reward. And so most of my clients are stepping into a season of life where they're like, hey, we've got these next 10 or 15 years before we step into a season of retirement. What should we be doing? How should we be thinking now in order to prepare ourselves to live into that retirement that we've envisioned? And so I could go through dozens and dozens and dozens of stories, but one of my favorite moments in any of my client relationships is that last meeting that we have right before retirement, and we start to build out their income plan and how it all works and just get to celebrate with them this next chapter, and then just getting to walk with them in those seasons and to see the plans that we put in place years and years ago come to fruition because of the good work that they've done. And it's a privilege to get to play a role in that journey.
We've got about 2 minutes left, and I don't want to disparage anybody in financial services, but not everyone is working in their own, in the best interest of their clients. So sure. If a person watching this says, man, I should be doing better than at least the market itself, look into that camera and talk to them about, why they might want to give you guys a call.
Yeah, I could speak to that. As Dom said earlier, this is a very crowded industry. There are a lot of amazing people in this industry, and many of them are my dear friends. And I see it every day. There are other instances where perhaps, people got sold something as they got started, and then they didn't see the follow through and the follow up come with it. And so what we do as just a way to get to know people is we walk people through a formal 3 to 4 meeting process to get to know them and just see, hey, is there an opportunity for us to come alongside and not undo any good work that's already been done, but perhaps enhance that good work? Or to rather affirm that you're doing all the right things and just simply being that second set of eyes and giving them even more confidence in the plan that they already have. And so for us, it's all about finding opportunities to connect with people and truly see, are there ways that we can indeed help people think through some things that perhaps maybe they just haven't thought through. And like I said, worst case scenario, we're only affirming the good work that's already been done.
All right, Dominic, we're going to give you the final word. What would you like to leave people with?
Yeah, no, again, I think Cal said it wonderfully, but there's a lot of options right on the table and a lot of folks to work with. But when you're really talking about something as personal as finances and as just important to you and your family, you want someone who is going to make you feel heard and listened to and appreciated. And I think that's where we really pride ourselves in, is doing just that for our clients.
Outstanding. You guys are great. We're going to end with the website, which is, of course, 49financial.com. Kyle and Dominic, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us,
thank you,
Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.